Chelsea enter the race to sign Antoine Semenyo. Big breaking news from David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano. The Manchester clubs still reportedly lead the way. Liverpool and Arsenal are also there in the background, ready and waiting to pounce. This is the transfer story of the January 2026 window. Things are motoring forward, what feels like very, very quickly. Indeed. We're going to break it down. We're going to get your views, get your opinions on this in that comment section below. But please like if you haven't done so already. Please share and make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Turn that bell notification button on as well. But the big breaking news just over, well, about 30 minutes ago as I'm recording this. I was about to say just over an hour ago. It isn't. Big battle ongoing for Antoine Semenyo as Chelsea call today to inquire about the conditions. This is from Fabrizio Romano. Man United and Manchester City in talks with the players' camp for days. Talks remain underway. Liverpool also interested since November. 65 million release clause expires on the 10th of January. It was reported about the middle of the month, but 10th of January. And with Christmas, with New Year and festive periods, there's really not a lot of time at all. David Ornstein here stating that Chelsea make initial inquiry to Antoine Semenyo's camp over the conditions of a January switch. He says Chelsea already intended to sign one attacker next summer, so a move for the Bournemouth forward would accelerate plans amongst multiple contenders, as reported by The Athletic. Sky Sports, though, according to him, first to break the news today. Ben Jacobs here confirming Chelsea have actually considered an approach for Antoine Semenyo in the last few days as well. Big news. Massive news. If Chelsea get involved and if Chelsea want a player, they have, with Caicedo as a standout example, Lavia, Mihajlo Mudryk, to name just a few, in the Clear Lake era, have absolutely blown people out the water. In fact, they did it many, many times in the Roman Abramovich era as well. But Chelsea entering this race. What's your thoughts of that straight away? Because the other day, and I stand on what I said here, I feel like if Man United were up against just City, I think we've got a good chance. If we're up against just Liverpool, we've got a good chance. I fancy our chances less against Arsenal because of the players' long-standing love for the football club. Grew up an Arsenal supporter. Although there are reports he is a Chelsea fan. There are some reports today from Andy Mitten that he's a Man United fan. But the vast majority, I think, we've seen are that he's a Gooner. But if it was just Arsenal, we'd still have a chance. Chelsea makes me very nervous because Chelsea have a habit of convincing these players, yes, they don't pay the salaries that a Man United and Arsenal or Liverpool would anymore. But what they offer are those contracts. And I know they often get referred to as Def Jam contracts, but being offered 120, 130,000 a week, but are guaranteed that money for 8 years is a massive attraction as well. Chelsea are often willing to not just pay buyout clauses, but pay above them to get players over the line. Enzo Fernandez is a standout example in that regard. So it worries me. And it makes me nervous. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. It makes me nervous. The one thing that's a positive is what Ben Jacobs has said is that the Manchester clubs are still the front runners. And it was the update from Matt Law. The update from Matt Law, for me, is the one area where I think it may fall short for Chelsea, and that is, it says here, there's no certainty that Chelsea will make a move for Antoine Semenyo at this stage. They have checked the conditions, but the one thing they will not do is break their wage structure. This goes on into Ben Jacobs' report that says Chelsea have always played down entering the race for Antoine Semenyo, but told they are actually considering an approach in the last few days. Inquiries have been made, as everybody knows. Man United and Man City are the front runners, but the wage structure remains a stumbling point. And that, for me, as a Man United fan, I hope Semenyo says, look, I've been offered 180, 190, 200k a week at these 2 or 3 clubs. You need to match it. I hope Chelsea walk away and say no, because they have a brilliant chance of signing him. What I'm intrigued to know is who they're kicking out of the team at Chelsea. Genuine question. because he starts over Gittins and Garnacho, and on the right-hand side, he starts over everybody but Palmer. I think he's more clinical than all those players. So who's kind of being moved on? Who's missing out? Could Gittins be loaned out? What's the plan here? I'd love to get Chelsea fans' views and opinions. I want to ask Arsenal fans as well. What are you saying here? Genuinely, what are you saying? Do you feel like your club should be more involved? Do you think that Arsenal are waiting to see if personal terms get agreed, what the wages look like? Will a club maybe pay over the odds for the player? Maybe a club says, look, we'll pay 70 million for the player, but pay you in installments, and Arsenal go, well, we'll match it. What do you think? I mean, there were some reports today coming out of Turkey that Martinelli could go this month. Done okay in the league, done fantastically in the Champions League, but do you want to upset the apple cart for what you think might be a long-term better player? Keep things as they are? What if you don't go in and Man City do land him? Does that give them an advantage over you going into the second half of the season, having that extra player, the extra firepower, the extra, you would expect the extra output that they don't get from the Savios? They get that extra 5, 6, 7 league goals in that time. Those extra 4 or 5 assists in that time. Better quality on the counter. What are you saying, Gooners? Let me know. Let me know. From a Man United perspective, what was an interesting report here as well from TalkSport is that it says here that if Man United have identified Yan Diomande as a potential target if they fail to land Antoine Semenyo, although they would not pursue their interests in the Bundesliga man until the summer. So it's United have got ideals at doing this. What's also been reported by Fabrizio Romano, and this probably comes as a little bit of a shock to some people because they don't read enough about Man United. There's a lot of really bad Man United content creators who they don't really support the club. I think they pretend to support the club. They don't read the articles about the club. They don't do any research about the club. I bet if I showed them players from the 80s and the 90s, they'd have no idea who they are. Ex-managers, they wouldn't know idea who they are. And all that stuff. But it's been widely reported that United are going to abandon the 3 at the back and wing backs at some point. Wilcock has spoke about this. Amorim has spoken about this. And now Fabrizio is reporting that if United can convince Semenyo to sign, that United are ready to change the system. Now, some people go, no, the system isn't the formation isn't the system. What Fabrizio says in reporting this is the formation. The way we play football won't change, but we've seen a back 4 in the last 2 games. We've seen the team go 3 in the middle. And we've seen some improvements. Defensively, we've still been an absolute mess. And that's what the defensive signings in the summer are meant to be able to help us with. But United are promising the player, or reportedly promising the player, that he will be used in a more natural position, not just as a wing back. I want your thoughts on that as well. Is that going to be enough to convince the player? Is that the right thing for Man United to be doing? I mean, I love the response. I'm reading the tweets that have been put out about it on X and reading it now. It's like one player is changing the manager's system. That's not a good look. This is the problem with a lot of people. You don't read. You're just so uneducated on Manchester United. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, Jeff. One player changes the manager's system just like that. Yeah, not a good look. But that isn't it. It's already started to change. And it was already reported to change. And what the Man United hierarchy have been saying for 18 months is we're not buying players to just suit one system. There will be a change at some point. Interesting. But look, as ever, I want your thoughts. I want your opinions on this news. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the hype button for us as well. But Semenyo to Chelsea is now on as well. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Peace.